Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and one of the coaches at TradeView Markets, TradeGATEHub, sponsored by TradeView Markets. Uh, it is actually, I said Monday morning, a little after 11 o'clock. Okay. Uh, I'm going to get to the normal routine, which is Monday. So I'm going to go into TradeGATEHub and I'm going to sign in just like I do everybody else. Oh, actually, here, hold on a second. I actually wanted to log into trade. That's a Freudian, what do they call a Freudian slip. I went to trade instead of logging into PGH. That's a kink. I got to get rid of that. It's like when I go past the racetrack on the Cross Island Parkway and I pass the Belmont exit. The car always tries to veer to the right, but I stay straight. All right. So listen, dark pool print. Thank you for pointing that out, Gerard. Very good with the prints and the option prints. I appreciate that. All right. So listen, I made an analogy last week, and last week was a short week, being the was Memorial Day. On Monday, we started the week on Tuesday. So let me work backwards, if you will. The red button, if you will, the TradeGATEHub YouTube channel. Go back and watch the last video, all the videos, and this is how you watch the videos right here. And the reason why I do this is because I can't repeat it more or be redundant. And if you have been going back to the red YouTube channel, you know that I have been being repetitive, redundant, is because Monday morning is where the most amount of data that I put out. I just put out the most amount of data, and it doesn't mean that you surely don't want to inundate everybody. It is a routine, and as I said a gazillion times, we're very consistent. At least I'm very consistent. We all are consistent. That's what the model is at TradeGate. That's why we do good business. We're consistent profit makers. And I put out the consistent data. So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. If you happen to miss a day or two, the Monday AM data that I put out, and I always start with my good morning situation, if you will. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's almost like, let's treat these almost like as a weekly short story. If you're in here to make a couple of scalps and sign off and say, I hear this guy, or, this is a good site to trade with, and you want to get on and get a couple of picks, don't do it. I'm going to save you, and I'm going to save my time, and I'm going to save your money. But over the time, like I said, I sometimes I break down the day in two. I trade the morning, then I take, then I go in the afternoon trade. Let's extend it a little more. Like, let's treat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, based upon that you can go watch videos about the day, as a short story throughout the week. Look at Fitch, 70 cents. Because a lot of it, it's just, this is a cerebral market predicated upon what's going on with the Ukraine and Russia war and inflation. Those are the only, in a couple of moves. And, obviously, the Elon Musk has been in the news tweeting about Tesla and Twitter and things like that. But aside from the big macro picture, those are the really only two situations. And granted, they're big ones, and they could be binary if either are settled. Although inflation doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon, as we're looking at the Walmart chart, we will in a little bit. So let's, it gets down to, to stock picking. There's no FOMO here. Stocks are moving every day. Another consistent theme about 2000, at least this year, is there's always a place to hide, and there is. So Monday morning, and this is how I signed on. I always sign on with Michael Santoli, and I always go back with, what he has to say. But as I said, if you miss something or you want to go back, it's not over. You know what I mean? It's just, you didn't miss it. This is our YouTube channel, and the team and management, and certainly Tim has put a lot of credence in, and he even watches it himself to trade. And I can't think of a better compliment than a guy that trades 8-9 figures a day, goes and gets idea from TradeGATEHub. So if I certainly, if he's alone, don't be alone. If he's doing it, that's why we created. So go back and do it every week, and it's go back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and get to know, get to know what we do and how we do it. So when it comes time to game time, we can all execute and make money together instead of explaining things. Although I am a little dismayed about how a lot of people don't ask a lot of questions. For example, if I say something like I'm buying PayPal, maybe people buy PayPal, but they don't really ask why. Or I want people to ask more of why I'm doing something, not just that I am doing something, because it's really, if you don't ask why, give me the account to trade in, go and go about your other job, if you will, and we'll take care of it and look at the account. But we're here to teach. I'm not. This is not a charter boat. You know what I mean? I want to teach you how to fish. I want to eventually have everybody have their own boats. We want to be all in the same ocean, which is TradeGATEHub. But eventually, I want to stop teaching, and I want to stop bouncing bouncing ideas. It doesn't look like I'll ever stop teaching, because as we get more and more viewers, I don't think everybody's going to come in at a major advanced level, but certainly everybody that's here is catching on. I'm proud of Gerard punching up dark pool prints that may or might not sway in the market. He knows a momentum trader. Lewis is, forget it. Coach, I don't know his past history in life, but he certainly seems to be on a I don't want to say a generational run, but he seems to be on a hell of a run. Although I wouldn't cheapen Coach by saying this is generational. He's a better trader than that. I'm just saying, since we've been on here, I mean, forget about it. And I believe 4,100 is the level that we all am looking at. Is that correct or not? Okay. So listen, this is what I said again. Go to Jim Cramer. I posted Jim Cramer's plan for the trading week. Play the video. There's still a lot of earnings come out. Getting back to what I initially said, inflation into the cerebral market, being inflation in the war, how stocks are acting to that. It's just not a stock. It's not buying stocks with volume and good range anymore, because this is a time where you really want to know why things are doing it, and not just that they're doing it. Believe me, it'll help you in the long run. You know what I mean? It's like cheating. It's like your parents only told you, don't cheat. Don't cheat in school. You're only cheating yourself. I didn't believe it back then, because I cheated on every exam I could. But right now, I'm trying to learn on. I am learning, and basically I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to convey that to you. So if you're not taking the process seriously, you're not going to learn. Like I said, to close off this little area of the webcast, you are only cheating yourself. And I'm sorry if I'm old and pontificating, but it is the case. You don't waste your time, and certainly don't waste hours, because you know what? It takes a long time. I'm still teaching 25, 26 years later. I learned something today that I learned about I didn't know. So it never stops, and it's never going to stop for you. Okay, macro market news. This is why we're in a little bit of a stock picking range right here. So this is the S&P 500. That we are in this flagging pattern, if you will, until we either break below this 4,100, and I'm sure Coach Broch addressed it on the 9:30 video. And above it is, we have 4,300, which is the 50-day. If we go above this range, there's no question there's going to be a magnet towards that 4,280, 4,300. And that's based upon experience. That's based upon the fear and greed index still being in the high 20s. And you know what? Aside from, I will say this, here are hedge funds, if I'm jumping, they're still underwater. They still got money to put to work. But if we go to Goldman's data, or this data that I put out on Monday, this is old Monday's data, Goldman started to be a little bit of a believer. So that's a positive. It's evidence in stocks that's going on there. There are stocks that found some decent bases. Some stocks that I, as an experienced trader and who has a little, no filter when it comes to doing anything, although the reason why I do that is because I do hold to my parameters, my guides, is that, there are stocks I wouldn't short right now on run up. Seriously. I'll go get to a couple of them in a second. I didn't mean to jump ahead by the Goldman indicator, and you can go ahead and look at the red YouTube button if you missed anything, but I'll go back to the routine and the data. So go what Jim Cramer has to say about the week. He's been getting a little bit better. Go above Michael Santoli. What did he say this? But what's his, when he closed the market out yesterday, what was his, this is what he said. Michael Santoli, last word is survival. As he recaps, what did we learn? Go watch this. It takes what?
Well, I guess I'm going to call it survival.
It takes 40 seconds. So take 40 seconds out of your life. You're listening to me, certainly listen to him. Macro market news, it's similar with the comp. You know what? It's very similar. If the S&P breaks above that channel, the comp breaks above that channel. Certainly the NASDAQ, I think, is going to get to the 50-day more than the S&P, just because there are more people that are short the NASDAQ or underinvested the NASDAQ. Which is the S&P, which are gold, which are oils and whatever you want. It's just not tech. Credit default swaps. There's no surprise. This is what's driving the market. Once again, this red button here, I'll go back to January. This is June. All right, VIX. All right. So you know what? People might look at protection. I'll go to my screen in a second. The SPYs are up nicely. The VIX is basically unchanged. That might be a little something. You know what? Listen. When we had this Monday morning float up, carry up where, Google's up $70 and Amazon had the 20-for-1 split and paid everybody that took the risk. Bravo, not my trade anymore, but I'm glad it went up for everybody. be careful for a little like late afternoon or early afternoon, just profit taking. I don't think it's going to be a whoosh down. There's still some nice price action as of today, but certainly we had a nice run up, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's profit taking, what I mean? Profit taking. And that's predicated upon the VIX sentiment. And here we are with crude. Crude is down a little bit today. No surprise. Lewis, good call. This week's catalyst. All right. This is why I have a notebook. I write down this week's catalysts. So what's happening with, hold on, we can't see this right here. Let me go to my other main screen. Earnings spotlight. So we have Smucker's, ASO, not really. Earnings spotlight, DocuSign, NIO, forget about it. Stitch Fix, corporate events, conference schedules. You have to go through this. Stock splits. You have to go. These are annual meetings. Shopify has an annual meeting. Shopify has been parabolic off the bottom to a degree. So does Penn National Gaming. Target has another annual meeting. I mean, let me go here. Target's next annual meeting, or Target's annual meeting, is arguably one of the most important annual meetings they ever have will. And this is Target's chart. Target's the number one gauge in the economy, right, of the consumer. This is Target's chart, weekly, right near the weekly. So that's going to affect other things at Walmart. I actually punted some Walmart. So we have Shopify, we have PayPal, we have Urban Outfitters, Best Buy. So just to give an example, I do all this work and condense it so you don't have to. You know what I mean? All you need is a notebook. You don't need, to go through hours and hours of Twitter feed or data like I do. This is it. Just get the data in the Twitter feed and and what I say here. Let me go back to a new share. All right, keep going forward to the Monday morning data. So I said before about the Goldman indicator. All right, Bank of America analyst comment. Bank of America. Where's the Bank of America indicator right now? Hold on. BOFA, fear, greed. I have it here. Where is it? That's CNN, fear, greed. I want Bank of America. But just trust me on that. Bank of America, fear, greed. It's not on that one, but it's going to be on here, TradeGATEHub. I should have it here. If it wasn't from last week, it's at like 1. It's the lowest it's been. There's a chart on the ES. Lewis loves the chart on the ES. Key events to watch this week. All right, as Lewis even said, CPI's on Friday, and we have a couple of economic indicators that you either want to lighten into, maybe have some buy points into. Just the numbers are more important than ever. I mean, I didn't care. The CPI 1 year ago was a chance for me to walk the dog. Now I wouldn't even think about going out for a CPI. That's how things change. Sector briefings, go over these, your own cleans charts. Once again, go over them your own time. Upgrades, downgrades. Like I said, if I follow Walter Bloomberg for up and upgrades and downgrades, certainly follow Walter Bloomberg for other things as well, right? He's not good for just upgrades and downgrades. What's my new Twitter feed is getting me. All right, Walter Bloomberg. Where is he, Wally? All right, so I thought Walter Bloomberg. I'm just using this as an example. So he's posting Amazon shares up. So if he gives data that I use on my Twitter feed, chances are I use other data on that same Twitter feed. Just an example. You have to dig around a little bit. I did. Okay. Earnings for the week. We got big daddies coming. NIO, DocuSign, FUTU. You want to talk about a stock that I wouldn't short anymore? Now the China stocks are in FUTU. Before you know it. Now I'm not involved. FUTU. Bob was on our buy list. That ran away from us a little bit. So we're going to buy it on a dip now. We're going to buy it near the 100 level. We're also going to buy KWeb. And we are. I'm going to buy KWeb on the dipper. Hopefully, you know what this is? I'd like to see better action on KWeb, but it's against all the moving averages. Actually rocketed past our buy point. I would like to see it come down on low volume. I'd like to see it come down a lot on low volume. But KWeb's on our buy point. So is and PDD. How about this one? I kept trying to buy it and buy it and buy it. Right here was going up and down and up and down. All of a sudden, from 42, it's 55 PDD. FUTU earnings this week. We'll see what happens, Billy. Chinese Solars. How you doing? Look at Chinese Solars. Jax. God. JKS is at 66. Let's go back to the JKS incident of 2018. Those who were with us, remember it. That was probably the start of the gamma squeeze right here. I went through this, by the way. That was from 23 to 90, and I'm talking like a week. A week. Like, it's going back there too. I'm not falling for that again. JKS. Ugh, getting nauseous thinking about it. And but what goes with JKS is DQ. So keep your eyes on these. I wouldn't short them now. I shorted them then just because of the precipit. I mean, just trust me. Don't short them. So we have NIO. We have a go-to fuel cell, Billy, Campbell Soup. So we have some more macro plays. Play Smuckers, Ollie. You know what, Ollie? Ollie's bargain basement. But let's look at Big Lots. Big Lots has it. So I have no interest in some of these small retailers. Because certainly if Target and even Big Lots, which has a huge short squeeze is going, I don't know if I'm going to buy this Ollie's bargain basement. So pass on Ollie's. Signet Jewelers. What are we going to do there? That's a binary move, Signet. Signet Jewelers will be up or down 20% after it comes out with earnings. Fact. Lewis, your KC has earnings now. Goldman has a 6 buy target. I don't know. Keep an eye on that one. KC has, I'll show you what I'm looking at, by the way, on TradeGATEHub. Earnings this week. KC has it. Signet. Friday's movers with range and volume. There's the menu. You want to come in today in menu? STNE had 4 times its volume in a huge range. So look what STNE did today, the Brazilian payment provider. Doesn't mean just you had to have it. You had to have a gauge of it. Okay, so STNE. Here's the range on STNE. It was a monster on Friday. It came in and bought the down, opened 1150. Stock rallied 1260. Stock has what? A 15% move with volume, and it was hot on Friday. That's something you listen, that's something that at this point, I don't have to tell you. You should be writing this down. STNE, Friday, fundamental news, range, good price action, right there. And by the way, all you need, let's look at number two, let's look at something else. AI, AEO. You know what? This is not that sexy, AEO. Didn't have that much range. So you got to pick, you got to pick and learn yourself. BQ, ACAD. I'm in that. What's wrong with this thing? ACAD's a biotechnology underperforming today. How about WB? That was on the list. Now WB is going to do a back and fill. That's Chinese Facebook. FB is Facebook. WB is China. WB, Facebook. Chinese Facebook. Okay. Here's everything right here. Let's go back to losers. And I'm making a point here, and I'm not going to bring anything up this our routine the whole week, because it's your job or your responsibility, in all due respect, to go back and look at what, go to the red YouTube button, go back to Monday's video and play it a couple of times. For your benefit, this Monday morning data, I want to be dynamic and go throughout the week. You know what I mean? For example, we came in today in the middle of the range, right? Now we're up having a nice day. So we're probably up here again. As things happen, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I want you to remember that. Let's finish the routine. Because I don't really have a plan yet, because I'm still going through my platform change. I'm not going to lie. Okay, upgrades, inside days, NIO, Tesla, ON, the TGH position. We took some off on the open. Okay, it's a back and fill. I'd like it to see it rest, 65, 66. I was instructed to build some stocks that are for a long term. Now, certainly, this is one of the most relative strongest stocks out there. Removal trend line. This is the chart of the Qs. By the way, I'll give you an example. ON never went, or even barely went below its 200-day, as the Qs have been trading below the 200-day for all year, basically. And this is ON, model of strength. So I took a little bit off. I'm going to add to it. It just means the reason why I took it off, it got added to the S&P, and all the S&P managers, when they say, okay, everybody rushes in. I think the open was the top tick on this. If I'm right, it was, and it should be, because whenever getting added to the S&P 500, besides being a takeout, is probably the best news you could have. So I took some off at the open, 67, did dip to 64. I think I bought some at 65. God forbid it breaks the open at 67 and an eighth, going higher again. I mean, there's nothing stopping this thing. AMD has an investor conference, I think the 7th. You guys got to check that out. Now it's negative AMD. That's not good. Now, you know what? Okay. Maybe it's not bad either. AMD's had a run from, a nice run. Let me go back. I got to conclude this. I'm looking at the time. I don't like looking at the time. I could talk for hours. All right, Lewis, for you, FUTU. As I said before, this was my list on BABA. I wanted to buy BABA the play. Once it got to 100 on strong volume, it's still the play on BABA. It's dipping now on strong volume. GBT. Here was the plan on ES. Here's the plan on ES today. I'll leave it with the plan on the futures. I'll be working on the platform all day. I'm not going to lie. So I have a little FOMO, but here's the plan on the futures. But there's always another trade. That's why I'm going to take care of my platform continuously. So here it is. You want the market to hold 4,100 at 11:25 a.m. Considering what stocks have been doing, I think the majority of stocks have made their move. So let me go to my universe here. LITM, you bastard. Diddy coming in a little bit. This is my universe today. BLI holding good. Tela, XBI negative. What a letdown, this XBI. I mean, 72 to 69. I'm still a believer just because I think it's a second half play, but now it's holding the, it's holding the moving averages. But listen, when the XBI has an RSI between, it just has nobody has an interest. It doesn't have any range. I'm still a long-term believer, but I'll leave it there. ARRY, I shorted that. Run, Fizzler, CF coming down again. CF now. Nobody wants CF, no way. CF, nobody wants it now. MOS, you know what I mean? This needs in stocks like this that have been hot, you need a catalyst now. Something's going to break that triangle up or down on these ag stocks, CF or Moss. What else is on my screen? Mara doing nothing. Chewy gave it back. Hassan, one day wonder. Diddy, no good. The high print was the print. LI, Long Island, New York, having a huge day, 13%. Tesla still up, gave a little back. K-Web, our Bob is holding 100. FUTU, JD, Billy. What's breaking low now? Devon Energies, Chevron gave it up a little bit. EOG, Devon, that was on Lewis's short list. Citibank, we were bought more, but it gave back a little. DXC, YOU, ZS, MU, AMD's negative. GFS, how do you not like GFS? I'm going to add to it today again. It's a tricky stock. It's a hard stock to look at on a daily basis. It's one of those stocks where if you want your positions to work, really don't look at it, kind of like an ON. But something's going to drive GFS. It's even new sexy money. So what's on the high list? Let's look at our U.S. movers, and we'll conclude with that. U.S. movers, share. Okay, Diddy at the high, FTCI, BZ, Chinese, API, Chinese. So right now at the high list, Diddy, Chinese, BZ, Chinese, API, Chinese, FITU, Chinese, GoTo, ZH. So besides the first, well, don't get me wrong, there could be stocks up still 4% and be up nice, but the first half of my page here are all Chinese and solars, EDU, Chinese education, IQ Chinese, LI Chinese auto, RLX Chinese, CWeb, obviously Chinese, and then OX, Array, Solar, Run Solar, DQ Chinese Solar, BLI. We're in that. By the way, this BLI had news, and I know I'm just Karina adopts BLI's platform for ramp up antibody discoveries. I'm telling you. Stifel maintained BLI with coverage target 10. Morgan Stanley target 14. BLI. Everybody's lowest target is 50% on there, and insiders are buying. I'm going to tell you, going to have it stay. Going to have it stay, BLI. What else is moving today? On the low side, more importantly, coal. All right, so they sold off Nat Gas. Actually, they bought Nat Gas. Dave & Buster's. You know what I mean? Nothing sexy. HPK, big deal. It's an oil. You know what? I hope this list gets better when I get back, because if I look at this list, yes, there are the sexy ones are the Chinese stocks all across the board, whether it's solar or anything. So we know how we feel about the Chinese stocks. Lewis articulates it pretty well as himself. It's LITM, could have been somebody. Diddy, you know what I mean? I don't know. What would I do with Diddy? You know what I mean? It's not for me. I need 50,000 shares of Diddy to get me excited. it's probably going to be on the wrong side. LITM, the lithium stocks, how'd my ALB do? Did it bounce? It did. They tried to shake us up the ALB. We're still in it. Stock went from 230 to 260. So that's our lithium stocks. Best of breed. All right, I'll leave with that, guys, if I have no other questions. All right, so it's a Monday afternoon. I'll take all questions after lunch. As I say always, I'll be right back. Actually, what I'm going to do is go over Coach's 9:30 video. I'm going to do that. Well, you know what? I don't want to leave everybody hanging. Let's look at the wise guys are doing. Unsustainable rat. This is what Kramer says that I just go on here. So take it with a grain of salt. Unsustainable rallies, the hallmark of the negative market. AMD turned so downbeat, but the meeting's Thursday. Okay. So this is what Kramer is saying. It's okay. So he's unhappy that AMD gave a little of the move back. All right, Jim, I get it. You know what I mean? Right. The stock did go from 180 to 100 to 110, but they do have a meeting this Thursday. So what do? You write down in the book AMD as an analyst move meeting Thursday. You have to be aware of that. It's not only to move those stocks, it's going to move the market. Okay. Wise guy moves. Nog bearish, crude inventories, Amazon puts. What was that? Did that come in? It was up 6. All right. So Amazon did the typical route, like I said, rally in the morning. Then when it started going down, everybody sells it and waits till it goes negative and they buy it back again. I've seen it a million times. There's the Amazon play. Okay. Well, the high was 129. The high is 127. It goes below the open. You know, that's where it stopped here. This is the open, or at least the open on Amazon, 126. Here's where it stopped here at the open. The first time it goes below 126 again. I'm talking for a trade. I don't think it's over, but it goes below that open. And then it's a head and shoulders breakdown. It could make $1 and it could go back up, but certainly, you know, that's on everybody's move, especially the move after the move it's made here. A nice move. So you would have to think that the news is out on Amazon, so it's yet to be determined if it sell the news completely. Doesn't look like it, but when I see this, Amazon puts, they're protecting themselves. DraftKings bullish, MU bearish. No breakout on the advanced decline yet. So everybody has their advanced decline is important. Boom. Foot Locker, Snap, Baba bullish. I like that. Fear and greed on Bitcoin's at 12. Keep in mind. All right. Fear and greed on Bitcoin is at 12. Where's the BTO, the Bitcoin Trust? Here's the Bitcoin Trust, which I only like trading the trust if I do, where I'll trade coin. But once again, this is almost like the picture of the S&P, right? It either breaks below or it breaks down that flag. You know, I'll pay up. You know, I'm not going to do anything in this channel. It's at the higher end of the channel. It doesn't go to the channel, and I'm looking at 17. I'm mad. Even though the fear and greed's at 12. So let it go to 9 and let it go to the lower channel. So that's how I feel about Bitcoin at this point. Coach probably has a better opinion, if any. Fear and greed, XOP bullish, not really much put action out there. VIRT, Q's are bearish, Intel's bullish. I sold Intel, by the way. I didn't want it. I sold Intel for the fun. I thought it'd catch up with AMD and NVIDIA at one point, just because they usually do. They rotate, but you know what I mean? It didn't catch it good. I don't want to watch it. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like I took the easy way out buying Intel, you know, for a safe account. So I sold it. I made a little money, fleeted some capital, but I'll leave it with that. Okay, Kramer. That's it, guys. I'll leave it, you know, as 11:32, I'll leave it at that. So have a plan, stay focused, go through the Monday morning data again to see what important data is coming out this week. Investor meetings, certainly the CPI coming out on Friday, and just go back what we said and communicate with the room. You know what I mean? We answer all questions. That's the last thing we got to worry about. You should worry about. So have a plan, trade well. We'll see you after lunch. Cheers.